College Gym Vids fan going live on YouTube, streaming live on YouTube.
Dogtails, Family Edition, America's premier dog lovers magazine show. All the latest news from the dog world. Right now on this edition of Dogtails, Family Edition. Meet the Wheelock family from Thousand Oaks, California. Proud owners of a Labrador Retriever named Kanika.
We got Kanika from a lady who breeds dogs that I work with. And so we went out and saw a bunch of little puppies and went back 8 weeks later and picked one out and brought her home. We picked labs because we like to go together and we like to swim, and labs love to swim, and she loves water, so we wanted a water dog. And that's why we got Kanika. Kanika loves our kids. Kanika's name came from researching on the baby name webpage, and it means black cloth, and I wanted something that meant black, so she was a black lab. We go to work, but she doesn't stay home alone. She gets to go and play with her sister at our friend's house that lives about a mile away. So she share and play all day. Kanika's personality is very much friendly. She loves people. She loves to play. She loves to play fetch. She loves to play with the frisbee. She just wants to be around people. She wants to play. I was never afraid of the lab with kids because every time we would be near a child with her before we had kids, she just loved them and would kiss them. My little one, my Madison, she was always laying on the dog, hugging the dog, always wanted to be around.
Our thanks to the Wheelock family for inviting us to their home and sharing their dog tales. Next up, our Spotlight Freeze and much more on Dogtails, Family Edition.
That's a pond. Bigger yard so that Kitty can have a place to run, a place to play, and we're putting in a pool so Kitty will have a place to swim. Saving that much money.
Now, right. 7-7.
I'm a very special dog. Everybody loves me. I'm a bundle of joy with a pedigree.
Pembroke West Quarters are one of two types rally, and many of them show in conformation. The Corgi is a very loving dog. As with any breed, they do need to be socialized, and they do need to be acclimated to children, so that you train the children how to approach a dog safely and not startle the dog. You don't have to worry about clipping them like you do with some, but you do have to be willing to brush them. They are a double-coated breed. They shed a lot, and you have to be very comfortable wearing fur, finding little fur in your food, sweeping up lots of extra fur off the floor, things like that. So, but they're a great dog and very easy in terms of care for grooming. You want to be sure that you are watching their diet and keeping their body more on the lean side of standard as opposed to the heavier side. Holly, my female, is very outgoing, loves to meet and greet everybody, wants to be the one who, is out there and seeking all the love and attention from everybody else. My other one, Tucker, he's a mama's boy. He likes to hang by mom, and he likes to meet other people. But come back and touch base with mom that, Mom, look, I made a new friend. Is this okay? Oh, yes, go meet a new friend.
Everybody loves me. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
They're fully budgeted for their dogs, and when they came to me, I found out they weren't. Forward!
Today is what we call maintenance training for the dogs. That means the dogs have already been trained in patrol, narcotics, and smoking, and today is just like you would change the oil in your car. That's why they're here. We can fix things that are done wrong, and then we challenge them and give them new things to do.
Okay, keep your dogs by your hip, keep your feet together. They're out looking for bad guys, they're looking for even good people that sometimes wander away from home without being to be found. So the dog has to maintain a high level of obedience to be controlled. He's excited to be by you today, Greg.
Basic patrol training is 5 weeks. That's with the dog and the handler. And that teaches the dog to understand what police work is about and some of the unique things that they have to do in police work that they haven't been taught before.
We start slow. We don't start everything at 100%. We start things very slow so the dog can ease into them. But by the time they're a year street dog, they've seen a million different scenarios and can handle almost anything with the dog. What we focus on in our training group is a lot. The dog heels, the dog sits when the handler leaves them, the dog down and leave them. Our dogs are very well controlled to the point where they can go apprehend a suspect 1 second, the next second they can go do a demo for small children and
The handlers have to be trained as much as the dogs and keep their training up as well.
The handlers, this is brand new to them too. So we have a dog and a handler. We're hopefully training the handler to help them train the dog. But it can get a little difficult since we're training two at the same time.
I've been training dogs for about 23 years. I have been doing it since I was born. My dad had me on a backpack, and he would work dogs and just swing me around while the dogs were apprehending him or doing obedience. For police work, you need a dog that has high drive, a dog that listens very well because there's many commands we have to teach these dogs, and they have to be willing to use their nose a lot. That's the most precious part of these dogs, is their nose. Their eyes, not so good, they have pretty good hearing, but their nose is the thing that can smell someone hiding underneath the ground, in between walls and attics, out in a huge open area that just looking, you wouldn't think anyone's hiding there. Their nose can detect someone.
And we use German Shepherds, Malinois, Labradors. Some of the hunting breeds are used only for detection.
Because each dog is an individual, and you have to tailor the training to the dog. There's even difference between the male dog and female dog. So it's a program that is basic probably for all breeders, but from there you branch out depending upon what the dog needs and the dog's ability to handle whatever you're going to give it.
Tactical sit! German Shepherds are really smart dogs. That's why they're used mainly for police work. You see them doing the ability of their speed. I haven't seen anyone be able to outrun a police dog yet without a head start. The method we use is we use positive rewards. So the dog does something, it gets a positive reward for doing something else. So you'll see the dog will go apprehend the suspect, and the handler will call the dog back to him. You'll see him pull out a toy, boom, the dog gets that toy. So they know, hey, there's always a positive reward for what I'm doing. Right now, we're putting on him as a full suit. This is the best thing that you can use training a dog because it teaches them that anywhere on the body is available to action stuff. They have the stomach, the thighs, knees, back, butt, shoulders, everywhere. We put a helmet on him to protect it. That's his most vital part of his body is his face. You want to keep that looking good. So when you see most work, they have a sleeve on, and that just keeps his arms. This teaches everything. You can see he's completely covered. He's got a neck roll. His arms are covered all the way down to his ankles. We wear boots too, keep their feet protected because some dogs do come up and try to nibble on some toes a little bit. But you can see completely protected, and that's why we use them.
Without the dog, we would not technically cook if we do. They're hiding. We can't find explosives. We can't find narcotics. The dog, in that respect, is with I don't know how many officers. It's a building a tenth of the time that it would take the officers to do that, and they just perform a very good function.
We try and think of it in as many scenarios as possible, so that when it happens on the street, both the officer and the dog say, this is easy, we did this in training, we know exactly how to do it, and they can be deployed into just about any scenario out there that is a real life call.
The handlers take the dog home. There's a bond there that, just like a human partner, if you were to spend every day with them, you become very attached, and the dog has the same feeling towards the handler.
They become a family dog. We like that they can be a police dog, but yet they can still be a family dog. You can have people over the house, you don't have to worry about the dog biting it. If you looked at them at their house, you would swear they were just a normal, average house dog.
We take him to work with us, and he socializes with all the other officers. He comes in and out of the car with me, he goes a lot of places with me, he socializes with the public. As soon as it's time to call him into action, he's ready to go.
Since I retired from hospital practice, I now come out to training 2 days a week with the Police Canine Medical Unit. The National Police Dog Foundation helps to support the services training through standby veterinarian 2 days a week at training. And we use this also to go to special events. We take care of minor routine medical things here, including vaccinations and small injuries. I cannot imagine our police forces operating without police dogs. They reduce risk factors to police officers and the public so much, and it's in such a quiet, unassuming way. Most people don't even realize the lives they save by not allowing scenarios to scale out of hand.
A lot of these dogs are funded mainly through donations, which means the police department doesn't give the money to take care of these dogs. The handlers have to go out and raise the money just to get their police dogs. So for the dog to be out there helping the community, that is basically a cycle that you have. The community donates to the dog, and you're able to get the dog out there to protect you. I hope I'm making a difference. These officers and deputies call me with stories all the time saying how someone's grandma walked away and the dog was able to find the grandma a couple miles away, and they reunite the family. Lost children that wander away, bad guys that do bad things, they're able to catch those. And I feel that when I'm out here training them, it helps them on the street be able to find those guys. And I'm not really there like the officers are, but I'm kind of in the background, and it feels pretty good to feel that way.
Don't go away. We'll be right back.
model for others. You can make all the difference to an animal's cruelty. Please be the one to do that for an animal today. Go online or call right now.
Family edition.
Teenagers love to come home for a snack or they love to have a party. In these instances, the dog can get out of control and actually have behaviour problems. The dog could be stealing food, the dog can get in the way, the dog could be harassing the visitors for a party, or with the teenagers getting a snack, they can try and get the food out of their hands or get the food off the plate or get the food off the bench, and we want to teach the dog not to do this. The way we do this is use our vocal correction, so use our and correct the dog at the time that the bad behaviour is going on. If we're leaving food around the house, we need to teach the dog not to just go and steal that food. It's not their role to have access to that food unless pack leader actually tells them that it's okay to have it. Sit. Good puppy. Good girl. Good girl. Good puppy. Good puppy. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. Good puppy. Good girl. Okay. So we want the human to teach the dog when it's right and wrong to take the food off the weather, and we don't want the dog stealing off the bench. If they steal off the bench, one technique we can use is to put maybe a magazine, something right on the edge of that bench, and put the food on top. If the dog goes to jump up to get the food, the magazine falls off and scares the dog, but doesn't hurt the dog in any way. This will teach the dog that it got a bit of a fright out of the exercise, and it doesn't want to go back and steal that food from that bench. Another technique we can use to teach the dog not to steal the food off plates or out of people's hands is to teach the dog a word that they're only to eat on command of that word. That's a really good tool to use, and you can start doing this from when the dog is a puppy right the way through. You can even teach older dogs this trick as well. So think of a word that you use at the time you're feeding the dog. The dog will learn it's only to take food when that word is used. This can also help stop strangers feeding your dog, so the dog only takes the food when it is given the permission and the word is used. Also, when they are stealing off plates or out of people's hands, especially young children and teenagers, we want them to correct the dog using that vocal correction at the moment the bad behaviour is happening. With little children, mum and dad will probably have to do that. But with our teenagers, they're old enough to be able to do the correction themselves, and the dog will respect them more and not want to take that food away. And remember, no smacking or hitting of our dogs, but purely that vocal correction works really well.
Swimming is very important for dogs because it is a non-impact exercise. Virtually any dog, even dogs out of surgery, can swim because there's no impact on their joints that's going to cause further damage. And it's also fantastic for their cardiovascular system. 1 minute of swimming is roughly equal to 4 minutes of full speed running. So we only need to swim a dog for a fraction of the time that we take them out running for, and we almost get a better amount of exercise because it's working all of the vascular systems without impacting their joints. Bliss's guardian wants her to swim better in the pool. She swims her at home, but she's not happy with her performance. She wants her to balance herself out better, and she wants her to be more confident in the water. This is a common thing that we see with dogs that don't have tails. Bliss is an Australian Shepherd. Most dogs will use their tail as a rudder, and it balances them and it keeps their rear end higher. The dogs that don't have the tails, we see a lot less confidence and a lot poorer form in the water, and it's difficult for them to get the smooth exercise to build the muscle that we want to build. Good girl! That's it! That's it! Good girl! At the top of our pool, we have counterflowing jets, which allows the dogs greater resistance to swim upwards against, which will improve muscle tone and their form because they have to push harder and flatter in order to get to the top of the pool. That's what we're looking for, and plus it's going to build muscle faster because there's more resistance in this idle water. I
have several dogs right now. It does not matter age. We have a 14-year-old, we have 3-year-olds. The older, the better, as long as their cardiovascular system can handle it, because it's non-weight bearing. They're not out walking on concrete with their owners. They're getting a vigorous cardiovascular exercise without putting any pressure on their owners. Size does not matter. I have a little Doxy mix that we swim on a regular basis. She does really well. She's got great form. I've got Great Danes that we put in here. If a dog's never swam before, we're going to take it very slow. Not every dog is going to come in and swim for half an hour at a time. Each dog gets an individualized program, and we base it on the dog's progress, the dog's comfortability. We like to take breaks, give positive experience, and then move on. Swim therapy is a great form of exercise for all dogs, big and small, healthy or compromised, and most dogs, after a few sessions, really love it.
Follow us on Facebook at Dogtails TV.
Dogtails, coming up next on True Crime Network.
Dogtails, Family Edition. America's premier dog lovers magazine show.
Abbott is a spaniel mix.
Follow us on Facebook at Dogtails TV.
Dogtails, coming up next on True Crime Network.
Dogtails, Family Edition. America's premier dog lovers magazine show. All the latest news from the dog world. Right now on this edition of Dogtails, Family Edition. Meet the Wilkie family from Fair Oaks Ranch, Texas. Proud owners of a lovable pooch named Abbott.
Abbott is a spaniel mix. So he could be either Cocker Spaniel, English Spaniel, and he's probably mixed with a pointer. So some kind of hunting dog, I'm assuming.
I did not want a younger dog, and the reason is I didn't want to go through the puppy pains and growing up and so forth, and so that was one of the reasons that we decided on that, is because he is an older dog, and that was something that we wanted.
We got Abbott from the Cocker Spaniel Rescue Association of Austin. We don't get animals from pet shops. We don't get animals from breeders. We save animals, so we go to reputable rescue organizations.
He came down. And right now we're working on the fetch and the go and the stay, because we have deer in our yard, and if he doesn't learn to stay, he's going to take off.
We have lots of deer out here in Fair Oaks Ranch, Texas, and so our dog Abbott loves to bark at deer. He finds them to be very suspicious.
He's fun to play with, and whenever we get home, he's very happy to see me. He likes to hug and kiss a lot. He just like jumps up and just like puts both of his arms around me and just like tries to hang on as long as he can.
Abbott, when I come home at the same door, and then up runs Abbott. He's so happy and so thrilled to see us. It's a joy coming home.
Abbott loves to run around the house. He's just so welcoming. Whenever he first sees you, he's just ready to play and have a good time.
He jumps up on me and he's so welcoming and it's funny.
He loves to go on walks every day, in the morning and the evening. We take him on walks. We like to walk him out in the yard, out on the street, and then especially he likes to go out by the golf course here and run around and just kind of go crazy.
We run and I try to catch up to him. Then he keeps running forward. Sometimes when he runs around the yard, it's like very fast. My responsibility is feeding him, and I harness him, and sometimes I put the leash on him, and then we go walking, and that's my responsibility.
He took to us right away. He was crate trained before he came to us, and now he's bed trained. So he is where he's supposed to be.
He's a really big part of the family, I think.
He's absolutely part of the family. He's blended in very well.
He's very special. I love him very much.
Our thanks to the Wilkie family for inviting us to their home and sharing their dog tales. Next up, our spotlight reads, and much more.
Let me have stuff.
Person safe.
Get the help you deserve.
My dog is a puggle. He's a half pug, half beagle. It's a new breed of dog. Very, very cute, intelligent, smart little dog. Weighs about 20 pounds, and he's just very lovable and smart little thing. He's a very affectionate dog, but he likes his space too. You know, I mean, he won't come up and lick you unless you ask for a kiss. But he's very affectionate, loves to hang out with people, loves other dogs. Never seen a bad bone in his body. Doesn't even bark really, except the mailman. He'll come up to you and just start looking at you and lick you a little bit and check you out. I live alone. I want an easy maintenance type of dog, something that's not going to ruin the house, not too big, but yet tough little dog that likes to swim and play around and can handle a little roughness too. Vinny comes to work with me all day. I have a carpet store, so he hangs out in there with me all day long. Then he comes home with me. We go to the park. He comes to bed with me. He's pretty much been doing about 24 hours a day. So, how you doing? How you doing? You want to go to the park? Huh? You want to go to the park? Huh? How about the park? I've had about 10 customers that have gotten puggles just because they've seen him. Unfortunately, none of them turned out like him because they all turn out a little different. The whole breed, sometimes they're black, sometimes they're brown, different colors. But everybody pretty much wants him. And he's just the cutest little thing, and he pretty much does what I do, which is great. You know? If I take a nap, he takes a nap. If I go to work, he goes to work. I go swimming, he goes swimming. So just like having a little me around, a little mini me around. His whole life is a funny story. I mean, the dog just looks like a funny character. He walks funny. He's just quite the character.
He
back. Who's the lucky guy? Me or you? Huh? You're so cute. You're such a cute man. Such a cute man. Crazy little thing. I love him to death. Excellent dog. I can't live without my dog anymore. He's pretty much my life.
Everybody loves me. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Space.org.
And will be selected for therapy program. Everybody else, they get worked with, they get socialized, they get exercised, we put them on a good diet, and they go to the adoption program. Through the dogs we select for Lindepa, they go to complete obedience training. The one they pass the test, then they go to the therapy program. The one they do not pass the test, they get adopted as a trained dog.
This is Boone. And he's 6 years old, and he's a Newfoundland Chow Mix. And he's about to go home tomorrow, which is bittersweet. I love this dog, but it's great that he's getting it out. He's what we call in the rescue world a BBD, a big black dog, and it's very hard to adopt them out of shelters and rescue organizations. And the irony is, he's going to go home and help a young man, a little boy locally, who has trouble verbalizing. But he came one morning, walked Boone, and couldn't stop talking about Boone when he got home, which is great. And they have a lovely home, and the little boy is so keen to walk him and spend all his time with Boone. So he's going to a great home. And it's another example of a big black dog helping out children. We had a beautiful big black shepherd here who went home to a little girl with a similar problem. She wasn't keen on interacting with people and talking. And with Kona by her side, they're a great team. So we're really, really pleased that we can help out the dogs and some little children as well.
Claire says a great variety of dogs in different sizes and personalities pass through New Leash on Life.
This is Riley. He's a little long-haired dachshund mix. And he was in East Valley, believe it or not, all 5 pounds of him for being aggressive. I received a phone call about him. He became rescue only, and we've been working with him. He wouldn't let us touch his paws. He wouldn't let us take treats. He was pretty aggressive. He caught me and nipped my finger. So we're working with him, and he'll go to an experienced family who can continue his training, and he'll do really well in the right hands. So we're waiting for that special family to come along for this little guy. Cute as a button, but with attitude. This is called puppy gentling. We do this. This gets a puppy used to being handled, so the first vet visit hopefully goes smoothly. When we first got him, because of his attitude, he wouldn't let us do this. We touched his paws, oh my goodness, you would have thought we were boiling him in hot oil. So we've worked very hard with him. We can now do this, the puppy gentling. This is a very submissive position for a dog. This is a scary place to be. But as you can see, we've been working with him over the past 6 weeks, and he's doing really well. He's a good boy. We can touch those paws now, huh? Yeah, we can touch these paws. He's a good boy. This little guy who's always asking for belly rubs, this is Norman. And he was found running on San Fernando Road by myself. I was gassing at my car. And I guess when you're in the rescue world, a lot of dogs come to you. So I rescued him and his siblings, put them back in the front yard, and his owner turned up and couldn't believe his luck that I was from a dog rescue and asked him to take him and find them good homes because he didn't know what the next step was. So actually I took them home, fostered all 3 of them, found the other 2 good homes, and now my husband has fallen in love with this little guy, so it looks like he'll be staying with me forever. Which I can just about cope with. He's kind of cute. Huh? Yeah. And Mom was a Chihuahua who I saw, Chihuahua mix. Probably a Staffordshire Bull Terrier, so that's why he's so muscular and buff, and he's a great little guy.
Creating New Leash on Life was a natural extension of Bobby's love for dogs.
I put pretty much all my life to it. I have have so much passion for it because since I was a kid, I've been raised with them. My life has been saved a bunch of time by my dogs. I feel a lot of people, they don't understand how important these creatures are in our life. My own experience, I know a lot of people through my life which they never had a dog. They end up having one dogs. They never produced without dogs. If your life is allow you, if you are ready to take that kind of responsibility up to 10, 20 years, is the best thing ever happened to you. They are the only creature I would say, they are absolutely love you unconditionally. And I can prove that to anybody in a matter of 3 seconds.
Don't go away. We'll be right back.
From little kids up to teenagers. They might be chasing them around the yard. When this happens, the dog can become very overstimulated and very excited. They have sharp teeth, they have sharp claws, and the way they want to play and interact is to actually nip and bite, jump up. So we want to actually curb that behaviour and stop that from happening so the kids can actually enjoy their game they're having in the backyard. So there are many different games we can play with the dog that are very positive, lots of fun, but are telling the dog that we're in control of them and we start them and stop them. So the dog isn't in control. This way we actually manage the dog better, the humans have more fun, and the dog is still getting the interaction, but the dog is not wanting to bite, jump up, especially, you know, anywhere from our young children up into our late teenage years. This is so important. Mum and dad can be involved as well. And even if little kids are finding it hard to learn, maybe they can learn from their older siblings, okay, and actually learn some fun games to play with their elder brother or sister. Some of the games that I suggest are we could do some fun chasing games. However, make sure the dog always chases the human and the human stops the game. If we have a child that is actually having a dog jumping up and the child's getting scared or starting to scream, what we do is suggest they just turn into a tree. So they just stop. Because the moment they keep running and screaming, it actually stimulates the dog more and the dog's behaviour will become worse. When the child stops, the dog will actually lose interest very quickly because it's no fun anymore. So when they do stop and turn into a tree, mum and dad can come over and actually get the dog out of the way as well. That's of course if they're younger children. If they're teenagers, they can actually correct the dog, stop and correct the dog, and the dog will listen to them. So that's how we can stop this chasing and the jumping up behaviour. The way we would correct our dog is by using a vocal correction. We never hit or smack a dog. It doesn't work, and it will actually stimulate the dog more, especially when they're running and chasing. With smacking, they'll also see that the hand is actually a weapon, which in turn will cause more disrespect. They won't see the human as a good leader, okay? So we need to really make sure we correct properly. The way we correct is use a vocal correction. So what I like to use is ah. So it's an ah, but a really gravelly sound, not the word no, because the word no is a human sounding word. We use it 100 times a day in our household, especially with children, even teenagers. All right, so we don't want to use the word no. The dog will actually desensitize to it over time. So a firm ah works really well. If the dog is still carrying on, then what we would do is gently grab the dog, don't really say anything to the dog, and we can move the dog to a different area. So then they're not involved with the rest of the game, or if the kids want to get on with their game with their friends. The dog is in some chill out time. We're managing the dog, we're relaxing the dog down because the adrenaline has built up in the dog. We don't want that anymore. We want to relax the dog down, so remove the dog from the area.
Whenever they go on vacation, the Carnes family of Connecticut always include their lovable pooch, Schultzie, like on this recent visit to the resort community of Ojai, California.
We got Schultz 7 years ago. My wife and 4 daughters wanted a dog, and we went down and picked him out from a litter.
He learns a lot of words, so when he'll be barbecuing outside with my dad will drop a little meat for him to eat, and my dad will say, hot, hot. he'll stand there and wait, and my dog will say, okay, boy, it's okay to eat, and he'll gobble it up.
If I'm home, he is my little buddy. He walks around everywhere with me. But I think he's very unique because he is everyone's dog. He's not just my dog. You'd think he'd be my dog more because I'm with him all day, but he is very generous with his time.
He's like a little brother for all of us. He plays with us, he sits with us when we watch TV. When the family's together, he's always there.
When I come home from school, he like wags his tail and he runs around in circles and he gets really happy. He starts barking and then he just wants to like play with us because he missed us so much.
Schultz is a great watchdog, especially when Ken's out of town on business. He likes to patrol the house about 2 in the morning to make sure everything's okay. But if Ken's home, he stays put in his crate.
Well, one time when I was a little baby, my sister KK and Maggie were at the bus stop and I was in a stroller. And there was a little golden retriever, and he started sniffing me, and Schultz was close to biting his throat. He's like a person, like he's like my best friend sort of. He like you can cuddle with him, and he's just like perfect. Like you can play with him. You can do anything with him. We played tug of war, and Schultz grabs his rope like by his mouth, and we take the other side of it and we pull on it.
Who's gonna be feeding that day? We all contribute in helping feed him.
I think he's one in a million. We love him.
Schultz relishes his family's love and attention, and they wouldn't have it any other way. Follow us on Facebook at Dogtails TV.
For more Dogtail videos and more gymnastics meets sports, hit the big red button and subscribe.
We're a non-profit.
Peace out, YouTube.
Especially now through the coronavirus.
I'm going to end this live
Americans
stream now.
need access to local